Hey, gang. So I was at the gym working out, and that's generally when I get a lot of these ideas for this blog slash vlog. So today we're going to talk about if he said it, I believe it. There are times when God tells us to do something, and things come up, and it seems like there's obstacles that we face when we're trying to um, do what God wants us to do, and so we get fearful of what the end goal is and what it is that God wants us to do. The disciples actually understood this in Luke chapter 8, verses 22 through 25. And it says, "Now one day, on one of those days, Jesus and his disciples got into a boat, and he said to them, 'Let us go over to the other side of the lake.' So they launched out. But as they were sailing along, he fell asleep, and a fierce gale of wind descended on the lake, and they began to be swamped and to be in danger. They came to Jesus and woke him up, saying, 'Master, Master, we are perishing.' And he got up, rebuked the wind and the surging waves, and they stopped, and it became calm. And he said to them, 'Where is your faith?' They were fearful and amazed, saying one to another, 'Who then is this, that he commands even the winds and the water, and they obey him?' Jesus told them that, number one, Jesus told them they all should go to the other side of the lake. All of them. Not just one, not just two, not just a few, but all of them should go to the other side of the lake. They had the ability because they launched out in a boat. They had the ability. They took what they had to get to the other side of the lake. God calls us sometimes to take what we have to do something or to go somewhere. Too often we have missionaries who go around asking for money to go to their land, and we have the funds and the ability to help them to get to that goal. We have to listen to what God is trying to tell us to do. Number two, Jesus fell asleep in the midst in that boat as they're going across. Sometimes when God tells us to do something, it seems like we're all alone, that he's asleep and that he's not concerned about us. Keep in mind, he was still on the boat. Number three, a storm breaks out. You know, I've noticed over the years that no matter what, if God tells me to do something and I step out to do it, sure enough, a storm is going to break out. And so as we're heading in the direction that God wants us to go, we face storms that seem to just overtake us. I mean, they swamp us, and we just seem to. How are we going to bear this? How are we going to do this? This thing that I have that I want to use for God glory seems to be kind of overtaken by the storms of life. And number four, when we get to a desperate time, Jesus will step onto the scene and calm our situation. We have to understand that sometimes God wants us to get to a place so that we can get closer to him. And so he allows the storms of life to come so that we'll cry out. We've done all we can do. We've rowed, we've set the sails, we've done everything we know to do. And the last thing that we can do is call out to Jesus. And you know what? He always steps on the scene. He always comes just when we need him. The next time God tells you to do something, remember, if he told you to do it, he's going to take you to it. Don't forget that. All right, guys, I hope you all have a great Saturday, and I will talk to you tomorrow. See y'all.